Hey! Today I'm going to be taking a look at the solo game Unreliable Wizard, giving you a breakdown of what's inside the box, and sharing some initial thoughts after my first playthrough. Unreliable Wizard is a solo-only game with a playtime of around 15 minutes. Both design and art are by Kamibayashi, and first published by TITANHEADS in Japan. The version we'll be looking at today is the English and Spanish version published by Salt and Pepper Games. In this game, you take on the role of a young apprentice wizard on a daring quest to defeat the Demon King. Along the way, you'll traverse treacherous landscapes, face enemies, and grow stronger by learning more powerful spells or finding travel companions to aid you on your journey. Inside the box, you will find 32 cards in English, consisting of 3 map cards, 11 enemy cards, 13 ability cards, and 5 status cards. An additional 14 cards are also provided for the Spanish version, a double mode card which offers instructions on how to play a variant of the base game, which plays twice as fast, an extra princess card. You get to choose from one of the 2 princess cards for your game, while the other one is returned to the box, a wooden wizard token, an acrylic standee demon lord token, and the rules, available in English and Spanish. The box also came with a bunch of sleeves for the cards, which is a nice thing to find included. The game's art style is a charming blend of minimalism and 8-bit pixel art. It's simple and features clear iconography throughout the game. The card quality is nice enough, featuring a smooth finish. It's especially nice that the box included some sleeves so that you can protect them a bit more. Though I'm personally not a fan of these rulebooks that open up like a folded map, this one was small and does a good enough job at teaching the flow of the game. I didn't find myself having to look up a video, and whatever struggle I had in learning it at first could have just been because I was tired. Alrighty, time to share my first impressions on this one. This is a really cool and clever solo game. I'm really impressed by how well it works. Now then, I did end up making a few mistakes, which I only realized towards the end of my first gameplay that you see here. The mistakes I made resulted in the game being far too easy, and I was able to defeat the boss no problem. So let's reset that, and I'll show you another recording I made the following day. Okay, this time it all gets properly set up and I can enjoy a proper game. I can now more fairly comment on the game too, now that I've experienced it for realsies. I really like this game. It took a bit for me to understand how to play it. It plays very different to any game I've played before, but once it sank in, then I felt more comfortable and quicker at playing. The entire game system works on just 32 cards, with 3 that make up the map, 10 for abilities, some enemies, and the helper cards, which are used to keep track of your health points or show what terrain effects will apply during a battle. The way of using the cards like this can be a bit finicky. I felt I was always knocking cards around while trying to slip the terrain effects card under the enemy and such, but it is really cool how it all works, and the health point tracking also being the spellbook to reference what damage you might do is a nice touch. So my clumsiness aside, it does work. The battles are fun and fitting to the name of the game. On each turn, you randomly build up your magic attack from the available cards in your hand. First, you shuffle them around, so you don't know what's what, and then you choose up to 4 cards to attack with on each turn. You have to be careful here though, as each card you choose will reduce your health point by 1. Then, you compare the cards you selected, and if possible, you might be able to combine compatible cards to form more powerful spells. So sometimes you'll have a strong attack, other times it'll be duds and do nothing. We are an unreliable wizard after all. Combine your magic attack with any support points you might have from traveling companions, and then subtract any magic resistance to work out your total damage on the enemy that turn. Magic resistance can come from the enemy itself, or the terrain type that you're fighting the enemy on. Rinse and repeat until you've defeated the enemy, or the enemy has defeated you. The travel companions are cool. These are cards that you might find as rewards for defeating an enemy. There is also a chance you'll get 1 or 2 at the start of the game from the additional 2 ability cards you need to add to your hand. Each travel companion has 2 abilities to choose from. You just rotate the card to choose the one that you want, and then you can stack it and combine it with the attack counter card. These abilities offer unique benefits, such as providing extra damage to an enemy at the start of a turn, or reducing the damage you take while crossing certain terrain. Speaking of crossing terrain, traversing the map is fun. You really have to choose which path you want to take, but each movement will reduce your health according to the terrain type you're currently on. Something to be mindful of as you make your way up towards the final boss. There are a few ways to regain health on your journey by passing villages and towns, but these can only be visited once per game, so you have to be careful when you decide to use them. Actually, in my second and proper game being shown now, one of the travel companions I added at the start of the game was a hero. I chose the side which offered all terrain travel costs to be just -1 health point. As cool as that was, I neglected to pay attention to the grey squares it had, so I was actually adding enemy magic resistance to all 3 areas. Red, blue and green. This resulted in many of my magic spells not doing any damage, so yeah, I did end up losing. This game comes in at a good price point. We paid around €17 for it, and I think that's a fair price for what you get. I will need a few more games under the belt, but my first impressions for it are very positive. I enjoyed the small challenge, and I'm looking forward to play it some more. There is also an expansion, Unreliable Wizard and the Unstable Spirit Towers, which I'd love to get hold of sometime. It's available in the same sized box, and I think it's also for the same price. So, that concludes this video and a brief look at Unreliable Wizard. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Christian from Board Game Beans. You've been you. Have a lovely day and happy gaming. Outro. The video's over. What you still doing here? Ending. The video. It's just me, Christian, making outro songs. Yeah.